Morning, Mr. Marcus and all of my friends. Today we will talk about the standard of equipment and infrastructure in school management. And before we begin, there are three members in this group. The first one is Dana, the second one is Keren, and the last one is me, Yaya. We will explain about the definition and also the regulation and standard. We will give you the example and then tell you the comparison from one to another school. And the last we will tell you about the conclusion. Welcome! Are you excited for a fun learning session? Alright, let's go started. What is the definition of equipment and infrastructure? Equipment is a type of fixed asset used by a company in its business operation and reported on the long-term asset section of the balance sheet under the line item property, plant and equipment. And the infrastructure, this is the basic physical and organizational structure and facilities, e.g. buildings, roads and power supplies needed for the operation of a society or enterprise. So, the equipment and infrastructure is supporting tools for the teaching and learning process and in other educational processes to achieve the goals of national education. The examples of equipment are chair, table, white or blackboard, and then chalk and pen. While the infrastructure are the music room, the library, cafeteria, sport field, multi-purpose hall, and so on.
Okay, for the next material, we are gonna talk about what are the conditions for a quality school infrastructure. According to the experts, it must at least comply with the following parameters. The first one is comfort for students, teachers, and administrators. Spaces for teachers and students with an adequate temperature, ventilation and lighting, with water, electricity, and internet services, as well as sanitary services and the respective drainage of sewage waters. The second is spaces for the development of rehearsals and practices such as libraries and natural science, information technology, physics, and chemistry labs. The third is spaces for the development of talent and entertainment, sports, and culture. Daniel Rivera, Social Development Project Director at CAF, Development Bank of Latin America, states, the improvement of the physical condition of school is as closely related to learning as other educational inputs, including home environment, motivation, good teachers, libraries, technologies, or student services. After that, we are going to discussing about the impact of infrastructure on educational quality. A review of the most recent literature indicates that investment in improved school infrastructure has effects on the educational quality at least in the following four dimensions. Number one is attendance and completion of academic cycles. According to the UNESCO, the school dropout rate in Latin America is 17% and greater in rural areas. Several studies have found that the physical condition of school buildings positively affects school completion and cycle completion rates and increases registration. For example, in Peru, the World Bank found that investments in school facilities had every significant positive effect on students' attendance rates. Number two is teacher motivation. Evidence in Bangladesh, Ecuador, India, Indonesia, Peru, and Uganda indicates that Teachers in school with good infrastructure have, on average, 10% less absenteeism than teachers in school with deficient infrastructure. In fact, the student found that infrastructure had a greater effect reducing absenteeism than teacher salary or the effect of the administrative tolerance of absences. Number 3 is learning results. Studies carried out in the United States, such as the one conducted by 21st Century School found in 2010, found positive results which are statistically significant between school infrastructure and standardized tests to measure learning processes in many parts of the country. With lower student socioeconomic levels, the results were higher. Number 4 is improve the quality of the school. A recent study from the UK found that environmental and design elements of school infrastructure together explain 16% of variation in primary students' academic progress. This research showed that the design of education infrastructure affects learning through 3 interrelated factors. The first factor is naturalness, for example, light and air quality. The second factor is stimulation like complexity and color. And the third factor is individualization, for example, flexibility of the learning space. Panusek in 1995 found that the result of 34 studies with production function in developing countries that analyzed the relationship between school facilities and learning mostly found a positive effect. Valles and Valenzuela in 1993 also indicate positive results between infrastructure quality and learning based on a review of close to 70 models of function of production carried out during 20 years in Latin America. Empiric evidence indicates that there is a direct relationship between school infrastructure and educational performance, and that investment in educational infrastructure contributes to improve the quality of education and the economic performance of country. Rivera explains, to optimize investment in education, it is essential for authorities to observe the significant roles of infrastructures interacting with other essential educational inputs to be able to undertake comprehensive proposals that together improve the quality of education, thus promoting greater equality of opportunities and contribute to reduce inequalities and advance toward a real productive transformation in the region.
Now, let's move to the roles of equipment and infrastructure. So, most schools around Indonesia are using these roles called Peraturan Menteri Pendidikan Nasional Nomor 24 Tahun 2007 tentang standar sarana dan prasarana untuk sekolah dasar atau madrasah ibtidaiyah, sekolah menengah pertama atau madrasah sanawiyah, dan sekolah menengah atas atau madrasah aliyah. According to Permendiknas number 24 year 2008, standard of equipment and infrastructure in elementary school consists of 6 classrooms, library, a science laboratory, a headmaster room, teacher's room, a prayer room, student health room, latrines, warehouse, circulation space, and sport space. Okay, now let's compare these schools. This time between Canisius Puguran, Marsudirini, and Wonosalam Elementary School. Let's check it out. Okay, now let's see on this table. So I think all schools here are having classroom, library, headmaster room, teacher's room, student health room, latrines, and circulation room. But there's difference, like here Wonosalam's elementary school doesn't have science laboratory, and in Marsudirini elementary school prayer room isn't available. Then let's go back to Wonosalam elementary school where the warehouse isn't available. And finally at Canisius Pugran elementary school, sports space isn't available. So the conclusion is a good school is not only have smart students, but the infrastructure should support it. Every school has its deficiency and not have complete about the facilities. In addition, school facilities aren't only used as an arena for competition to become a favorite school, but to support the smoothness and effectiveness of teaching and learning activities. So teachers and students can be both comfortable and can improve the quality of the school. I think that's all of the presentation. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.